What's up, everyone? This is Stranger, coach of the Pittsburgh Celestelas, and today I am playing in week 3 of the PDPL VGC Draft League, going up against Donz. You can see Donz team down on the bottom right, my team up on the top right, and this is the squad that I'm bringing today. We got the Gouging Fire with the Assault Vest, Terra Poison, Heat Crash, of course, because that move's just busted on this Mon. Outrage for, just being able to do tons of damage to anything that resists fire. Probably in like an endgame scenario, lock myself in when in a position where it doesn't really matter who I target. Breaking Swipe just to kind of neuter the Ogre Pawn Hearthflame and the Okie Dokie a little bit. And then Poison Terra Blast is basically just to hit the Primarina. I guess Okie Dokie, or the Ogre Pawn, if it doesn't Terra, but I'll probably just be clicking Heat Crash into it anyway. So yeah, just basically with an Assault Vest, Gouging Fire should be able to tank a lot of hits from Donz's team. It just has a really good defensive typing into his whole squad, so that'll be nice to have. Just soak up damage. Won't be picking up any one-hit KOs except for into like the ice types. But it'll be nice to just be able to consistently put out good damage. Ogre Pawn, this Mon is just boring as hell, as always, just does the exact same thing. Try to be creative with it, but the standard stuff that it does is just all it really needs to do. Yeah, Spiky Shield, Ivy Cudgel, Woodhammer, Follow Me. Very physical, bulky this week to potentially take some hits from Ogre Pawn and Okie Dokie, although it still kind of depends on what their sets are. And yeah, so not a lot of speed or offense, but Donz has a pretty slow team overall, so other than the Sneasel and the Ogre Pawn, I should still be outspeeding most of them. And Ivy Cudgel is still a strong move. If I Terra, it's still doing a lot of damage. So. Then we got the Gengar, so this is a fun set this week. I got the Focus Sash Terra Stellar, that's pretty standard, but I've got Sludge Bomb, Imprison, Psychic, and Trick Room. So Imprison, Trick Room, I can lead this into the Farigiraf to deny Trick Room. Can't be faked out, can't be redirected. If I click Imprison, they're not getting up Trick Room. But also being able to imprison the Psychic. Hopefully they don't run Psychic Noise or Psyshock. The only reason I could see them running Psyshock is maybe to hit the Frostmoth, but doubt they run Psychic Noise. I don't really have a lot of healing. So yeah, if it's like Hyper Voice, Psychic, Farigiraf as their only attacking moves, I imprison the Psychic and then they can't touch Gengar, so that's pretty nice. Also gets around, potential delayed Trick Room if they want to just try to Psychic into the Gengar and KO it turn 1 so that they can, break the Imprison and get up Trick Room later. That denies them from doing that as well. So yeah, Focus Sash Gengar should be really good. Sludge Bomb is just great damage into most of their team, and then the main resistance to Sludge Bomb being Okie Dokie gets hit super effective, 4 times or super effective with Psychic. So yeah, just a really solid Gengar set this week. I feel like that'll be able to put in some work. Then we got the Sandy Shocks, Booster Energy, Speed. This thing's basically just there to spread Thunder Waves onto everything. I really wanted to do that with the Klefki, but they do have a Farigiraf, so yeah, it's going to have to be Sandy Shocks. The main reason I wanted to use Clef Key for that was so I could put a wide lens on it, and then maybe not have to worry so much about like a bright powder Articuno. But yeah, that's kind of my my main goal this week, is to not lose to Articuno shenanigans. And that is why the bottom two Pokemon are here for the most part. Frosmoth and Lycanroc are really good into the Articuno. Lycanroc has no guard, so that it can hit the Articuno despite any Snow Cloak or Bright Powder shenanigans, and then obviously do a ton of damage with rock moves. And then the Covert Cloak also prevents it from getting frozen by blizzards from Articuno or Abomasnow, and then obviously the Fake Out from Thwackey or Sneasel. And then the Frosmoth is just obviously super nice into all the special attackers, and then does pretty consistent damage to most of the team with Bug Buzz and Ice Beam. The only thing that it can't really touch is Primarina, but the idea into Primarina would be to just probably spam Wide Guard, prevent it from clicking Hyper Voice, and then try to do damage with something else. And I have a Poison type and 2 Terra Poison Mons on the team, so if I am against a standard Primarina with Hyper Voice Moonblast as its only attacking moves, I can Terra Poison and resist the Moonblast and then spam Wide Guard and not be able to get hit by Hyper Voice. So that would be a potential way of getting around the Primarina. And then even with Life Orb, Ice Beam and Bug Buzz are still doing some damage, so all I got to do is chip it down most of the way, and I can finish it off with Frosmoth if I have to. Yeah, so that's the squad. The game plan is not super locked in, I think, but depending on what they bring, there's a lot of different ways they could go, so I'm kind of leaving it flexible. But the main leads that I'm kind of concerned about or trying to prepare for would be like a Sneasel Ogerpon lead, or a Farigiraf lead with either Sneasel or Ogerpon, or maybe Okidogi. I expect Snow to maybe come in the back, but I could also see them not bringing Snow at all, because I do have so many good options into Snow. I mean, Gouging Fire obviously hits the Snow guys for a ton of damage, so and then all my lower tier attacks like the Frosmoth and Lycanroc. So yeah, it's probably going to be more of an Ogerpon focused game plan for my opponent. Just try to Terra, get the attack boost, and do a ton of damage to everything, and that's kind of where the Sandy Shocks comes in. Hopefully my main objective, if I see Ogerpon, is going to be to try to get a paralysis on it right away, and then outspeed and KO it with Lycanroc at pretty much at any point after that. And then Primarina is probably the secondary mode that they're going to lean into. Obviously I have Water Absorb on Ogerpon, but they can get around that with Hyper Voice. And I don't have a ton of resistances into like a Water Fairy combination. So yeah, they might try to get Primarina in, maybe under Trick Room, or even Tailwind, maybe Drifloon, or Articuno could set Tailwind for it. But either way, I'll just kind of figure out as I go what my opponent's trying to do, and try to execute my game plan as much as possible, which the kind of main game plan for me is kind of built around the idea of Thunderwave plus Rock Slide. It's absolutely devious, but I figure if there's one team and one opponent that I want to use this evil strategy against, it would be the Snow team and the guy who invented Bright Powder, Snow Cloak, Articuno with sheer cold and blizzard, which I got absolutely destroyed by when Toxic used it last season. So I decided I'll just get my revenge against the true culprit behind that devious Articuno set. So yeah, we're gonna try to flinch some stuff, paralyze some stuff, and yeah, let's see how it goes. So Donz should be ready here in a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and pause and be back when the game starts. All right, here we go. So we got Terra types. We got Ogerpon. We got Thwacky with Ghost Terra. Okidogi is Dark. Rhydon is Fairy. Primarina is Dragon. And Farigiraf is Fairy. Okay. They brought, yeah, I mean, I guess not too outside of what I was preparing for. The Rhydon might be a little bit scary. Could have Lightning Rod. Kind of sorry, I got a text message. Yeah, disrupt the Thunder Wave strategy, but we should be able to play around that. Okay, so let me go ahead and respond to this real quick. All right, well, good luck, have fun to Donz, and let's jump into it. Okay, so this could be like a Swords Dance Ogerpon with like a Grassy Glide with the Thwacky to set up the terrain for it. I mean, Gengar looks really good. What am I doing against Rhydon? I was not ready for that thing at all. I'll just lead this guy and try to get paralysis early. I think I want to bring Gouging Fire. And then I think I want Ogerpon and just bring these guys game one. Might have to try to force a Lycanroc in game two, but I'm just a little worried about the double grass combo. Lycanroc's not looking too great into that. Okay, Okidogi Farigiraf. Okay, this is actually great for Gengar. I think this is just Imprison. I should have had Psychic Fangs on. Gouging Fire. Maybe this is Breaking Swipe. Then I can probably guarantee a KO next turn with Psychic. Okay, I'm faster than the Dogi. It's not Clear Amulet. Or Covert Cloak. Knock off the Soul Vest. Okay. Oh my god, there's no freaking way. Oh no. No, I did not even think about that stupid move. Oh my god, that's so bad. That's so bad. Okay. Twin beam. Ah, man. No, I need to save my Terra in case I need to hit Primarina. Oh, I can't believe I got by that. Oh, that crit's huge. Is this citrus? No. Okay, so we do KO this thing. That crit probably kept me alive. Poison jab. Okay. No poison. This is a 2-hit KO, even after the breaking swipe. Man, I totally forgot about Twin Beam. I would have put a different Terra type on Gengar. Okay. So we have Terra Fairy Rhydon. I mean, there's no way they'd let me just KO that with. I think there's probably no. Primarina? Unless this is Primarina, which would be really bad. Yeah, it is. Okay. Protect? No, it's just Terra Fairy. So this breaking swipe was obviously not a good play, but it should still do a good chunk. Yeah, that's worthless. And a Stone Edge, okay. It doesn't KO. How much does Heat Crash do to... Oh man, if I would have saved the Terra for Gouging Fire, I would have had super effective damage. I'm not thinking very straight right now. What is the base power of Heat Crash into Rhydon? It's still 100 base power, so might as well go for it. Oh man, that thing's so tanky. It does die to another. No, this is just gonna KO. Damn. Life Orb Primarina, okay, that's good to know. Rock Slide, I might live this. No, I don't. Okay. Yeah, I played this terribly. I just got so flustered after that. Twin Beam KO. Is there any way I win this? Because if not, I would just like to find out if this is lightning rod. I think it's gotta be lightning rod. Is there any way I live a hyper voice single target? No. I basically never live that, so I would need to. Okay, other Primarina here. Let's just find out if it's lightning rod. Yeah, okay. This water pledge. Okay. Water pledge Primarina. So that actually might be grass pledge Thwacky for the swamp. So it's good to know going into game 2. Ah, the twin beam. Okay. Gengar is still really good. I just need to not lead it against the Furrygraph, which was kind of the whole point, was to be able to lead it and imprison the Trick Room. What else? What was the lead? It was Okidogi, Furrygraph. So I could lead Wide Guard isn't very useful. Too many physical attackers for Frosmoth to really be any good. So I think it's this. I do kind of want this guy for... Yeah, it's just the right-on switch in to stop the Thunder Waves is kind of scary. Can I get away with not bringing Ogerpon? I don't think so. I think I really need this for the ride-on. And if it Terra Fairies, I have to make sure I position Gengar correctly to get that KO. Alright, let's see what we got. Alright, we're going to be relying on some flinches, some full paras. At least I can't miss Rock Slide. Can miss Thunder Wave though. Okay, same lead. I do have the... Did we see an item on the Okidogi? No, it wasn't Leftovers. It wasn't Covert Cloak or Clear Amulet. Okay, no right-on switch in, that's good. I had to burn my Terra right away, which is not good. Okay, we connect Thunder Wave. Here we go. Okay, I'm faster than the Dougie. Just knock off. Okay, they do not flinch. Okay, turn one went terribly. This Hyper Voice doesn't do too much. Okay, I think that might be Assault Vest. No, actually that didn't do that much. Oh, it's Citrus Berry, okay. Okay, do I need Sandy Shocks? Can we take a double KO here? Yeah, we can. I think I just have to let this guy go down. God damn. Oh, this is not looking good. I really wish I had a Frostmoth here. Yeah, I should have just led the Frostmoth because Life Orb Bug Buzz would just KO the Giraffe. Alright. How many turns of Trick Room? 2 more turns of Trick Room so I can double protect and then they get a double KO. Double Dazzling Gleam. Ah, it does a lot. Am I relying on Rockside flinches to win this game? If I sack the Sandy Shocks, then at least I have an out, since I should be able to outspeed And this means I don't have to worry about Rhydon basically just keeping me from doing any damage. If this is a Dazzling Gleam, I might live. I doubt it, but it'd be nice. No, definitely not from that range. Okay. Our Dragon Primarina. Don't think Dazzling Gleam KOs me though, so I wish I had Horn Leech. Yeah, I think I needed to. They didn't even tear the Primarina. I need a double flinch. They actually get up the trigger. Oh man. Breakthrough everything. Yeah, this was just abysmal. This is just double KO, Dazzling Gleam. Alright, well, GG's. Oh, that was rough. I cannot beat Donz to save my life. I don't think I've ever beat Donz. It's just been... Yeah. I don't know. My, yeah, I don't know. He's got my number. I've lost to him. Using like a mirror coat electrode one game. Just last time I played in PDPL, I forget what team he was using, but yeah, it's just been not a great set on my end, but well played to Donz. Just absolutely destroyed me. I feel like my out. Yeah, game 2, I needed to just probably bring the Frostmoth. I think it would have been really good into the Primarina and Farigiraf, obviously, and then I had a ton of pressure onto the Okidogi. I could have just led, yeah, Frostmoth, Gengar, and then Psychic KO'd the Okidogi, and Bug Buzz KO'd the Farigiraf. That was... And I probably would just win the game on the spot because they don't get Trick Room up. And then I have Sludge Bomb into Primarina. So, and then Ice Beam into the Primarina if they tear a Dragon. So if I had a little bit more time to think about it, that would have been a really good adaptation into that second game. But instead, I just wanted to play with the Thunderwave Frog Slide, and it did not work out for me. So that's what I get, I suppose. Maybe go back to playing some honest Pokemon next week. Anyway, that's 2-1 for us this season, so hopefully we can come back next week with a strong showing and try to stay with a positive record. So we'll see you next week.